true colors have grown.
What is going on, guys? We are back for another DSP video, and this week we're going to look at DSP wage quitting his marathon, going on insane rants about fitness and health, and of course complaining about Call of Duty. And we start off today looking at a tweet on DSP's day off where he criticized people for spending 1K on an ROG ally. I don't know, Phil. Why would anyone spend $200,000 on a mobile game for Hulk Hogan dick pics? And now someone's going to bring up that DSP demanded to be compensated for Comcast being out today, and at the same time, his audience being forced to pay for his content on a free platform. DSP's response is very DSP-esque.
Someone tipped $2 and said, it seems hypocritical that you're asking for something for nothing from Comcast. I mean, you don't give us anything for nothing. Oh, you're right. I mean, I don't stream all day, every day for free. You have to pay for it, right? What? It's a What on earth are you talking? I literally stream all day, every day, and it's free. Anyway.
Phil was sheltered as a child. He has main character syndrome because he thinks he saved his gated community because he notified HOA that the internet wasn't working. And not only that, the front gate opens using an app, and without internet, it wouldn't have worked and people wouldn't get their deliveries and DoorDash. It's almost like Phil. They could manually open it. But of course, DSP lives in another reality. And the guy who talks about instant gratification is upset because Comcast did the infrastructure. However, his internet isn't any faster. He thinks it's a light switch. They can just turn it on and off. And he's also mad at his DoorDash delivery driver because he's not answering his texts. You know DSP is the top DoorDash Karen.
And I'm texting this person and they're not paying any attention to me. They're ignoring me. Isn't that great? Oh, anyway.
And DSP still can't let it go with Silent Hill F and the puzzles. And again saying, you have to be Japanese to know what a Sakura cherry tree looks like.
And the puzzles are weird. Unlike, you remember last year Silent Hill 2 had some interesting good puzzles? The puzzles in this game are just odd. Really weird. Like, there was a puzzle last stream. It required me to know what the Sakura Japanese cherry tree looked like. How would I know? I don't live in Japan. I'm not a botanist, or I don't study trees. But you needed to know it for the puzzle. Like, you needed to know what the blossom looked like, the branch of the tree looked like, and the actual whole tree. And you had a box, you had to pick 3 pictures of a cherry tree out of it. Like, I don't know what this is. And that was it. It was actually, you had to solve that puzzle to continue with the game. I'm like, wow, great. Genius level stuff.
And DSP did his DSP Tries It of Popeyes. And he complained they didn't give him the right sauce, and everything was wrong. It was horrible. Worst episode ever. And we have these comments in chat. You suffered through eating fast food. You poor soul. People pay you $1,500 and you scammed us out of an episode of DSP Tries It. Go pick it up and film it properly. And then we had a whale come out, Final Wish. And you can see how much of a dent and a cuck he is. As he says in chat, next stream already hit its goal. If Phil wishes it, maybe the stream after also hits the goal. I think this next stream will be great. And there you go, DSP once again. Where are my sauces? Popeyes messed it all up. He always has to be negative, but remember guys, he's a very positive and chill dude. And then we have this comment from Trophy Hunter Goon. I'm excited. Of course, talking about his bagathon tomorrow. And then also from Trophy Hunter Goon. I've been watching you for years. I've never been able to support you. Now that I have a full-time job, I can do so. Thank you for everything you do. It means the world to me. I've been watching you since Fallout New Vegas. Thanks Ryan. Thanks for coming by. And of course, DSP has been negative about every single thing. And we have Popeyes. Worst episode ever. He's used this title multiple different times, by the way. And says, everything is wrong. Then says on Twitter, do not miss tomorrow's marathon. See you for the hilarity. Spoilers, it goes very, very bad for DSP. And now it's time to see how well DSP's marathon went, and spoilers, not very well. And you're gonna see him rant and rave about this as he plays bad games. And the very first thing we see is this AI cursed image, absolute nightmare fuel. And DSP is still delusional about him having muscles and being buff and losing all the fat. And he's gonna show off his body and try and flex how healthy he is.
So I still have one. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll wear this today as a throwback. And of course, I also wanted to show off my guns. As you know, I've been working out, and I wanted to have every opportunity to just show off my my big buff arms now that I have. I'm just gonna go ahead and flex whenever you want. I'll do a nice big flex on stream today for you. Okay. Here you go. I just find it hilarious because I used to wear t-shirts all the time, but I had like thin noodle arms, right? Now I actually have muscle tone that I can show off when I wear a t-shirt. So there you go. Very nice. Now don't get too excited. All right? Don't get too excited. Jeez. Anyway. All right. So I lost a ton of weight. Oh my God. Can you take a picture of me when I used to wear this shirt? Seriously. It used to be here was a big gut swollen and everything else was like atrophied. And now there's no gut at all. And now I actually have muscle, like crazy. Just what a little workout can do, a few months of working out. Anyway, so I'm excited for today.
If you want more proof that he's delusional, he said he doesn't have moobs. He actually has muscle tone on his chest. Delusional, sighed Phil. Now this is a weird rant. He's going to go on about the food locally and how he's had enough. And there's too much Asian stuff around him. Of course, this wouldn't be the first rant he had about not liking Asians.
Here there's a very heavy and dense Asian population. So that includes Indian, Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese, Filipino, Thai, that kind of stuff. And I've kind of eaten through it all. I've kind of had it all. And I'm like, well, now what's left? So now I look and I search for more. And there's just not that much. And what we're finding, this is absolutely God's honest truth. Everything out here is becoming more heavy, dense Asian. For example, we've noticed in the last 2-3 years, more than a dozen tea drink shops have opened in our area, and all the coffee shops have closed. So there used to be a Starbucks on every corner. Now it's actually starting to get hard to find a Starbucks. Now it's Thai tea, boba tea, flavored tea, happy tea, Tuesday tea, TTT. It's like, what the frick? There was actually one, I swear to God, they just opened up a new one near our mall. It's called TPT. Not the most appetizing name for a tea place. TP? For your bunghole? Why would you name it that? But you could tell they were Asian. They didn't even understand that TP means toilet paper in America. So they just, it's no big deal. We'll call it TPT. Okay? So we're seeing an overabundance of that kind of influence in our area. And it sucks because now we're seeing too much of the same. Like, it used to be cool when you would see a unique, there's a tea store, we'll stop here, we'll get a drink. Now it's like every corner there's one. So they're all the same. They are, too. You go inside, they have almost all the same drinks, the same jellies, bobas, and things you put inside the fresh brewed tea. And it's like, so you know what's going on is, basically it's become a fad here, and it's low cost. This tea must cost so little to brew, but they're making massive profits on each drink, right? So now it's this big fad blowing up with all these different tea shops all at once. But that's the problem. We're seeing more and more of the same kind of cuisine rather than unique ones. I would much rather see any European cuisine open up around here, but there's almost none. It's all Asian, Asian, Asian. Like, oh my God, enough Asian. I'm tired of this. It's either that or it's a chain place we already have, and there's another one opening. I don't want a 20th of the same thing we already have, right?
Then he played Gollum, and it was boring and really, really bad, and not in a fun way. Barely any commentary, barely saying anything. I guess par for the course for DSP. And not even paint in games can save DSP, as he's now gonna realize in the game that the white paint is trying to guide him.
Oh, frame rate drops a lot here. Sprint towards the wall. I did. Oh, you can run up white marks? Okay.
And throughout the day, low support, and he's mad for two different reasons. One, people are not supported, and two, he's not able to drink. And it's your fault, dude. It's not his job to make a bad game good. And Phil, it is your job. You're the streamer. You're supposed to entertain people. You're supposed to make jokes about stuff. Not just sit there in silence and wait for the money to come in.
Huh? People are tipping you, trying to encourage you to play along with how bad the game is, but you are ignoring them. What are you talking about? Huh? No one tipped me. In fact, I think you're the third tip of the day, and there were 0 tips that came in during Gollum. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, Gollum just, I'll be honest, it wasn't a bad game in regards to like, oh, it's bad and it's good to laugh at. It was just boring as shit. Like, the game just literally doesn't need to exist because it's just boring. So there's nothing you can do with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do with that to make it entertaining for you? The game's not entertaining. I'm not a skit comedian who played through the entire game, did a playthrough of it, I have it recorded, and then I can do scripted segments of me dressing up like Gollum and acting out comedy skits. That's not what I do. I just play games and I react to them. And the game was not good, and there's nothing to really say about it. It's just boring. Right? Okay. Laugh at it. Laugh at what? There was nothing funny. That's what I mean. The game wasn't funny. If the game was so laughably bad that you go to climb on the wall and Gollum shot into the sky, right? Or if the game was crashing and breaking down, if the graphics were awful, like none of that. The game was just boring to play. That was the problem with it, right? So there's nothing I can do about that. Besides say, okay, it's boring. Let's move on. Let's do something else. Because that was too boring, right? I want to do something different. Okay. Positivity Gaming says, I think they're trying to say it's your job to be entertaining. You're the entertainer. You're supposed to be the one providing the funny. So if that's the premise, then we'll just not do this then. We'll do something different. We'll just hang out and we'll talk all day and I'll entertain you. Or we'll play games that you know you're enjoying and we'll do that. It's not my job to make a bad game good, you idiot. That's not my job. It's not my job to say, oh, here's a game that everyone knows is bad. Phil's going to somehow make it good. No, that's not what I do. We could do things that we already know are entertaining. Literally, I sit here and I talk with you guys, chill with Phil for 2-3 hours, and people all have a great time. We have great conversation. People support, right? Just today, the intro to the stream. I hung out with you guys for 90 minutes. You guys are having a great time. We hit our first goal, right? So what are you talking about? I love when people want to put it on me. No, fuckface. That's not how it works. There's a million things that we could be doing right now that are entertaining. Maybe that particular game wasn't one of them, right? Now, you guys voted for E.T. Let's play E.T. And let's see if I can figure it out, right? And figure out how to play. And if it's entertaining to watch or whatever. Particularly, I remember the game being awful. Even when I had it on Atari, I hated it, okay? So, you know, there you go. Let's see if that's entertaining. If not, we move on to another. If we do 3 or 4 and none of this is entertaining, then we'll do something else that's entertaining to everyone, right? The idea was that worst games ever, people thought, oh, you should play all these bad games. It'll be fun, right? Well, then let's do that. If it's not fun, we'll do something else. It's not, here, Phil, here's a pile of dirt. Make that into gold. The fuck are you talking about? You're an idiot. Good Lord.
Then he played E.T., looked up a guide, which told him how to beat the game. He beat the game, and then celebrated that he beat the game. Lowest effort possible. And also, remember, DSP said he grew up on Atari. It was his first console. He played it all the time. But now, he just figured out there's only one button on Atari. Make that make sense. And then we have Jumbo Jack. Remember, when playing E.T., don't wait for the game to do something entertaining. Try to provide some commentary and entertainment for us, so we don't bore ourselves to death. And you know what happened right after that? Ban, ban, ban. Gone forever. And this is a very interesting clip from DSP, and well, yeah, this is very DSP-esque.
La 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 la. Murder Mexicans. Use your sombrero. Murder them all.
And of course, what would a DSP marathon be without him showing his alcohol, including this? And this. And then people kept saying in the comments, where is Kat? Is she gone? Is she okay? And DSP said, people have made up conspiracy theories that his wife is gone and left him. Then goes on to say, she is the one to order the food, and she just texted him that the food arrived. And I pointed this out. He left after the pre-stream saying he was going to go order the food, and the DoorDash app tells you when it's there. And look at the food he got, he said it's Hawaiian food. To me, that looks like prison food.
Listen, it's not gourmet food. You know what I mean? It's a hot dog, it's Spam, but it's Hawaiian food. This is what they eat in Hawaii. It's pretty good. There you go.
And the money was still not coming in, and he's getting pissed about this. You guys wanted this. You told me to do this, dudes. And now, he's gonna call his audience stingy for not giving him money to drink alcohol.
No, because I know what's going to happen. We're going to start playing Bubsy, and then we're going to hit the goal. Then I have to stop playing Bubsy to take the shot. I just wanted to get it out of the way now. All right, well, forget it. I'll start playing, but if we don't get it by, like, let's see. If we don't get it by, like, 6 o'clock, I'm probably going to have to go get a coffee. And then that's going to just spoil because then the coffee is going to negate any other liquor I have today, to be honest. So it kind of sucks. But it is what it is, I guess. People want to drag their feet and be stingy during my marathon. Because the thing is, I'm hitting it. I'm going to at least make 450 this marathon. At least. So I don't know what we're waiting for, but okay. Okay.
Bubsy in the
Shut up. Okay.
It's very weird that he said, at least I'm gonna make $450. Almost like he had it orchestrated behind the scenes. And imagine telling people that you expect them to tip on your marathon, and they're being stingy because they're not giving you money. They don't work for you, Phil. You're not owed or entitled to their money. You're supposed to entertain them too, by the way, not the other way around. But it didn't stop there, as he's still freaking out that he's getting no tips.
I can't take shots until we hit goals. Look, guys, look how close we are to 400. But the problem is, with people dragging their feet like this, I will never get a buzz. Do you understand that? Never. The last shot was like 2 hours ago. We ate, and then you're like, okay, time for a shot. How am I supposed to get a buzz?
And the money was still not coming in, very low support. It's not his fault, it's Comcast's fault. That is right. The marathon, he says, is a flop because of Comcast and the day he missed. And then goes on to say that the marathon isn't doing very good because the games picked aren't so bad that it's entertaining. They're only boringly bad games. That is right. The games that the audience picked were bad and it's their fault, dude. And then one of the scummiest things he's ever done, he's now using Jade, his disabled dent, to beg for money so he can get alcohol.
Jade says he wants to pick the next shot. You can pick the next shot, Jade. We need to get to it. We need to get to 400. Guys, how about this? Jade wants to select the next shot that I take. Get us to 400 right now. Let's let Jade select the next shot. Let's go.
And now, DSP's gonna rage at somebody because they said, drink more alcohol if you lower the price of shots to $50. And DSP's response was to call the guy a fucking idiot and say, if you want me to do shots, give me $200 right now and we'll lower it to $50. Great business strategy right there, Phil.
Someone says I should change it to $50 per shot. The only way I would change it to $50 per shot is if we get $200 right now. If we get $200 right now, I'll take 4 shots. But that's the only circumstance. It's that simple. $200 of support right now. I'll take 4 shots right now.
And now he's gonna threaten to ban someone who again says lower the shots to $50. And spoilers, after he yells at people for suggesting that he lowered the value to $50, he eventually does. And makes it out that it's a great deal that he's given to you. And he's still freaking out over low support.
Listen, I already said, now I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't shut up about this, I'm going to ban you. He says, if shots were $50, I literally just said, you want $50 shots? Fine. Right now, let's get $200. Right now, let's raise $200 and I'll take 4 shots. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Because there's no incentive for me to do that. You understand? There's not. There's no incentive for me to do that at all. Everyone wants to talk, but the people who talk don't support. Oh, lower the shots. You didn't support at all, stupid. Why the fuck would I listen to you? If you were a supporter and you were like, oh, I'll support more, but I want to see you take a few more shots, so let's increase the amount or whatever. Fine. Not the fucking peanut gallery in the back who just fucking does nothing and sits there like an idiot, like a lump. I don't give a fuck what you say. Dumbass.
And DSP has wage quit Legos, Reacts, Game, DS Politics, you name it, he's wage quit it. And now, you can add his marathon to the things he has wage quit. As he put this on Twitter, after a day of bad games, we're now just gonna chill. Join us as we hang out for about 90 or so minutes with Q&A. Chill vibes and hopefully some booze, aka give me money. And not only is he offering to drink booze for money, he now says if you give him money, he will flex for you. And it got so bad where he's begging for money. Oompa Loompa is brought up again. And he's telling them to come back and give him the money that he's owed. And a very weird thing, DSP sprayed cologne so he smells good for the end of the marathon. Keep in mind, he's the only one that can smell it. And then there was a savior, somewhat. RTU Dent, Troll McTrollington came in and started wailing out on Phil. At this point, he had about $400. And Troll McTrollington gave him about $350. But the weird part is, Troll McTrollington kept insulting DSP's audience over and over, and DSP did not stand up for them. He did not ban the guy, did not give him a warning. He kept talking about how Troll McTrollington is a good supporter. And he also revealed that once his fitness journey is complete, he will take his shirt off. And there you go, Troll McTrollington sent 50 DSP Gaming memberships. And he did this multiple times, plus super chats. And not only that, so he hit multiple goals and still refused to do multiple shots. And then he went on a rant about how he's not going to box RTU because he would kill him. He would beat the crap out of him because he's so much healthier than RTU. Well, being healthier than RTU is a very low bar. And despite all the begging for money and booze today, he says, I'm not a money motivated guy. And then we got 12 minutes of daily rap, and what is it about? Oh yeah, money, money, yeah, and how you're not giving it to him. And now Sunday. And remember when DSP said, I'm not gonna play Hades 2, it screwed itself over by taking too long to make. The early access ruined the game, dude. Well, guess what DSP's trying now? Hades 2. Imagine that. DSP today, DSP tomorrow. And you know, there is a whale lined up for this. There has to be. And the last time he played Hades 2 early access, it was Game Trekker. Could Game Trekker be coming back? And DSP hates playing Silksong. It is too hard for him, it's too difficult, and the excuses are running out. And now, are you ready for this? He is now blaming his controller. That is right. He is saying that the makers of Silksong fucked up the game because it's not made for modern controllers and you have to have a classic controller to properly play it. You heard me correctly, and let's hear it from DSP.
Tried to air dash, nothing. It didn't give me the air dash. I just jumped nothing, dude. It's dropping. It's fucking bad. Can't do anything, dude. This is fucked. This is fucked. It's fucked. First of all, I'm telling you, it actually is dropping inputs, which sucks. You know, you're playing on a controller. I told you, I really felt like this game, you need a perfect controller. I don't have one. The Elite 2 is good. All right, the Elite 2 is good. But, absolutely, it's not perfect, especially for a game like this. I feel like the Elite 2 controller is good for modern games. This is more of a classic game. It's not, you know what I'm saying? We go to the halfway home, then we're gonna go up all the way. That's how you get to that air duct thing. That's what's gonna make us climb and do this puzzle we couldn't do before. And then we're gonna go to Sinner's Row. All right. Elder Mage, that's right. I will continue to blame controllers, because in this case, this controller here is good for modern games. I like the adaptable thumbsticks. I like the feel of the buttons on the shoulder. It's not made for platforming games. Almost no modern controllers are made for old school platforming. They're just not. They don't have the exact responsiveness that you want. The D-pads don't feel great. Like, this D-pad is decent, but it's not great. I've had better. So I think I might have to. If I'm going to start playing more games like this, especially because I'm on PC Gamer now, maybe I should look into different or better controllers, you know? I think I might have to, like, if I get an 8-bit dough and I use that for classic games, this I use for more modern games, I have another one, you know what I mean? Keyboard and mouse is definitely going to be for FPS games. Okay.
And throughout the playthrough, the number one thing DSP always said was, "What do I do? Someone tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, guys," and hopefully attach some money to it. And of course, the stream was saved by Endio, who also gave him money the day before. But it's becoming more sparse when Endio shows up, less and less frequently. And one of the things that DSP is having a hard time with, which you would think the king of retro would have this down, is that he doesn't know how to do down attacks in Silksong.
I can't fucking do the down attack. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so frustrating that it doesn't fucking work. God damn it.
And it's getting to a point, a really, really bad point, where DSP wants checkpoints mid-fight in Silksong. That is right. If there's a phase, there better be a checkpoint. And it's bullshit that he has to redo the fight all over, dude. And this, my friends, is why games were dumbed down for people like DSP. It was then announced that the former alcoholic DSP is now going to start drinking more higher level of alcohol drinks during Truck Sim. That is right. The slippery slope is slipping. And he's getting more bold with this. And he's drinking more and more. It's almost like he's trying to cope for something happening behind the scenes. And then we have this comment from Kevin. LOL, I can see the outline of your compression vest. Might want to adjust it. Look at OBS, DSP Gaming. That's cheating. That was clearly meant for the Silksong goal. You are cheating. You are wearing a compression vest, DSP Gaming. And then in the night stream, he beat Kronos early. So you know what that means, dude. Q&A, chill with Phil, aka give me money. And it's gotten so bad, he is now begging people to support him because it's hot in his office. I wonder why, Phil. That little office with all those electronics, I wonder why it's hot, Phil. And you know, one day, with all those electronics plugged in, there's gonna be a fire. And it's a good thing you ripped out your smoke detector, which is against HOA guidelines, by the way. And what are you gonna say then? I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. By the way, Snort, I have to set up a goal now. $600,000 for new home, Snort. And DSP believes you can't work out unless you have a weight bench. And said he could not afford weights until last year. Now keep that in mind. The guy who makes over $100,000 a year for the past almost 2 decades, who's made millions of dollars and spent over $200,000 on mobile games, countless amount on alcohol and DoorDash, all those statues and collectibles, went through bankruptcy to clear his debt. But he needed $40,000 extra dollars from the Keno Casino in order to afford weights this year. Just let that sink in. And of course, look who's back. Troll McTrolleton, the RTU Dent, wailing out again on DSP. And he puts this on Twitter. Alert, we are doing an impromptu Chill with Phil live on stream as I beat Kronos. Come hang out with me until the end of the stream session for Q&A. That is right. Mid-stream, bag tweet. And then it was funny because someone said, oh, I'll give you $20 if you can prove it's 84 degrees in your office. Because he was saying, oh, please support. It's hot in here. I want the money, dude. Then he took a picture of his AC, which a lot of people have noticed. You can adjust the temperature on it. So he put it to 84, took a picture, Then for some reason had to email it to himself instead of just showing the picture on his phone. Then called the guy an idiot because he wouldn't pay up.
All right, what else you guys want to talk about? Got a little bit of time left. Not a ton of time, but we got a little bit of time. And again, it would be great to get some more support if we can. At this point, it's looking incredibly doubtful that we're going to hit the goal. But I guess it is what it is, right? See, I knew it. The guy tipped another buck claiming that it's all fake. I've somehow found a way to program my air conditioner to say that. Even though literally he just said live on stream, prove it. I showed you myself taking the picture of the air conditioner. You never saw me touch a remote control to mess with anything. It's not gonna, because the guy's a fucking liar. These people that ask for this stuff, these people who are conspiracy theorist detractors, they're not actually looking for information. They're not looking to say Phil's doing something wrong or lying. They just want to be toxic and negative. Even when the evidence is presented to them that everything they're saying is a lie, it doesn't matter. Right? These idiots have been saying now for what, weeks, months, that my wife left me or I divorced my wife or something. She's literally downstairs in the living room right now. I could go get her and walk her into this room. And here's what would happen. That narrative would end, and then immediately all they would do is look at her and start saying stuff about her looks, start saying fucked up stuff about what she says if she walks in here. That's all they want. They're just always looking for more and more and more ammo. So you don't give them any. That's the point. So when people say, well, when you don't address something, it must mean that it's true. No, I don't address it because it's bullshit. And if I disprove the bullshit, that's not good enough for them. They go to the next line of bullshit and the next level of harassment. So don't even address the bullshit. You just ignore it. Right? This guy is a no-load limp dick fucking loser who just got completely disproved on streams, acting like I'm making this up, that it's hot in here. Everyone now knows it actually really is as hot as I say in my office. Oh, well, let me move the goalpost to just make something up. No, fuck you. You're poor. You're a brokey bum. You don't have $25 to send me. That's why you would never do it. You're a bitch. You are never going to send it because you don't have it. You probably are stealing dollars from your mom's credit card to send me these other tips anyway.
Now, two things I want to point out here. It's funny how he says, you're probably stealing money from your mom's credit card. Really, DSP? You mean just like Derek did for you? And the other thing too, is I like how he said, they would make fun of her looks. So you're acknowledging that she's fat and ugly. Gotcha, Phil, gotcha. And all last year, DSP kept saying felted and felt, and using it on X, and YouTube, and Kick. And he would laugh about it, and he thought it was funny, and it was a great word. But now that he's not with Kino Casino, he's gonna say it was very cringe, and anyone that uses it is pretty much a retard.
Let's go. Let's get some subs over on Kick. Let's get a tip. Let's get a super chat. Let's get a membership, and let's felt the brokey bum. Felt. That is, I'm sorry, the whole time I was using that term felt last year, it's very cringe. Very, very cringe. The only people who should use that term are like people who are into like actual gambling. Like if you're in a gambling stream, stuff like that, you could use that terminology. But like every time I used it, it was cringe, but I knew that the Kino Casino viewers loved it, the lingo, so I used it just to get some attention. And now it's funny because people will still say it in my chat, and I'm like, ugh. It's like something that, like a mentally deficient person would say. You know, like it's a catchphrase a child would keep repeating. Ugh. Okay, 1 second. Just gonna put this back.
And now DSP's gonna say he never had to change. He never had to chill out. At the same time saying, I used to be a bad dude. I used to do bad stuff. But I've changed for the better. So which is it, Phil? You changed for the better, or you never changed and you were yourself? Make that make sense.
No, the only problems that anyone has with me right now is when they take stuff out of context from a stream and they're acting like, you see, so all Phil does all day is just ask for money. Except they ignore the fact that my streams are like, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5, 6 hours long, and 99% of the stream is me playing a game or interacting with the audience. Every once in a while, we bring it up. We do a big celebration when we hit a goal. Yes, I'll say, let's get some subs. Let's get some tips. I do that. Absolutely. That's not the end-all be-all of who I am, but they act like it is because that's what gives them their garbage content. You get it? But that's not true. I'm here to make content. If I never had to ask, I wouldn't. Every day, if I turned on the stream and we hit a support goal within the first 5 minutes, I would never, ever bring it up. Literally not once. We're done. We're good. But ask and you shall receive. The more that you ask, you remind people support. That's how it works. That's why I'm here 17 years later as an independent. Not shilling, right? Not selling out, not changing everything I stand for, and having ads and fucking, stupid paid sponsors, and putting out big pop-ups on the screen. Click this link for the referral and get 10% off, blah, blah, blah. I don't do any of that shit. I don't have to. Why? Because I am different from everyone else, and I do make ends meet through a way that some people would find offensive, because yes, I do ask for contributions, but it also allows me to be who I am instead of being some kind of a sellout shill or an offensive loser. Because that's the truth. I could also be just a great offensive loser, just completely insulting people constantly and making garbage drama content, and I'd be successful. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather do more positive content. So, but that's it. That's when you look at this stuff, people say it's either completely fabricated shit that's not true, or it's Phil asks for money too much. That's it. It's not like back in the day where people had legit gripes, like Phil sucks at games and blames all the game devs and shit like that. It's not even true anymore. I just beat a really tough survival horror game. I'm actually making great strides in Silksong, one of the hardest games I've ever played, Metroidvania style, right? I beat all the difficult shit. I'm not bad at games anymore. I'm also not great at games. I'm more average, but I definitely don't suck as hard as I used to, and I don't sit here putting on a song and dance every day about, every game developer's a jerk or anything like I used to.
Okay, many things to unpack here. Phil, every single game you play, you yell at the devs. You call them fucking morons that don't know what they're doing. You even said last week, do I have to show the devs how to make a game? Second of all, you do suck at games every single game you play. And you have done drama content. That's what last year was all about with Kino Casino. You tried to do drama with Ethan Ralph, with COG, with RTU, with LTG. And you sucked at it, Phil. Everyone made money on it except for you. And also you said, if I hit my goal within the 5 minutes, I would never talk about it again. Except you would. You would go, okay guys, we hit the 150 goal, let's hit the 300 goal. Get the 300 goal, okay guys, let's get the 450 goal. And it keeps going on and on and on. You never stop talking about goals. At this point, hitting goals and getting money is your brand. That is the DSP brand, begging for money like a bitch. And DSP was telling the Dents how the United States was when Reagan became president. Now there's a problem with this. You see, when Reagan became US president, DSP was not born. So again, just like Pete Subs, he's taking story from his dad and making it all about himself. And as Otter points out, Reagan's presidency ended before Phil turned 6. And also, this happened last year too, where DSP was telling people what it was like to see, in real time, Ronald Reagan getting shot. You know what the problem with this is? It happened a year before Phil was born. And if you thought Phil learned his lesson from mobile games, you are incorrect here. He's going to go on a rant about how money he makes on his stream is his money, and he can still use it any way he wants. And he's going to say he still spends money on mobile games. Yeah, that is right. Plural. Mobile games. He's going to say he spends his money on alcohol and DoorDash. If you think back to his WWE Champions playthrough, and I use the term playthrough very loosely, he said the whole message was not to get sucked into the black holes of mobile games and not get addicted and not spend lots of money on it. And here he is, 1 year later, saying, yes, I still spend money on mobile games.
I lied about Champions in the past, and then I finally, over a year ago, fessed up to it, and that's that. Whatever money I make, I can spend on whatever I want. Tell you right now, I spend money right now on some mobile games, all right? I do. I also spend money on liquor. I also spend money on food deliveries. I also spend money on anything I want because it's my money. Get it, stupid? In fact, the $2 super chat you just sent me is also my money. Maybe I'll spend it tonight on a mobile game. That's my prerogative. That's how life works. You send someone money, they can spend it. What an idiot. And
now Monday. And the very first thing DSP says in the pre-stream is that he wants 4 goals, which would be $600 today, so he could do DSP Tries It. The greed is endless. And then get ready for a wild, crazy ride here, as DSP goes on a rant about Saudi Arabia buying everything and businesses supporting them. Of course, he's talking about EA at the moment, and how everyone is morally wrong for supporting any business that Saudi Arabia owns. Well, Phil, guess what company they have owned for years? Scopely, aka WWE Champions. Guess who spends over $200,000 on WWE Champions? That means, Phil, you are giving money to Saudi Arabia, all for Hulk Hogan dick pics. And DSP goes on to say that Saudi Arabia doesn't want people to know how wealthy they are. Phil, they show it all the time, all over the place. It's one of the things they're known for, being wealthy. And all the clips and the things we're going to talk about is all in the same rant, remember. So he's going to go on to say that people are just finding reasons to complain. And people have first world problems. And people need to get a life. Remember, this is still on his rant about Saudi Arabia. And it goes all over the place.
You don't have any kind of actual like stress, any kind of like adversity in your life. So you seek out and find the most stupid little shit to complain about. How about instead of whining about your personal little situation, which is so infinitesimally just not fucking important in the scheme of things, how about you look about how things are on the other side of the planet? People who live in China, people who live in Russia, people who live in Saudi Arabia, Middle East. Why don't you look at how they have to live? And then all of a sudden, your tiny little problems won't really matter anymore in the big scheme of things. Really, no one cares. Maybe you think they do, because that's what society has taught you with this always plugged in online mentality. But in reality, you're one of a zillion. No one cares about your little opinion. Sorry, that's just the truth. If you don't believe it, or you don't, see that as reality, you probably have been brainwashed. And that's sad. But that's the truth about society, is there's just so many people out there. It's very rare when you get someone who has some kind of influence or someone's going to care about what they say or do. But everyone thinks that now because they're all plugged into the internet eternally. Oh, well, I'm the one who, I post up every little moment of my life on TikTok and on fucking Blue Sky and on this and that. No one cares. Now, here's the thing. The situation I just described, getting thrown out of your house and being told you got to live somewhere else, and then you're upset with that situation, so you complain about it on social media and you go to jail for it for the rest of your life. That has happened in Saudi Arabia. It is documented. This is not, I made up a hypothetical that's kind of ridiculous and outlandish. That happens in Saudi Arabia. Okay? So if you live there at any moment, you've got to be very worried about anything that you say and do. That's just how their government is. Okay? So the crazy part about all of it is, you might say, well, wait a minute. If Saudi Arabia actually has such horrendous human rights, that anyone could just be upended, thrown out of their home, the government can do whatever they want, people are executed, yes, I'm not kidding, executed for literally speaking out against the government. Imagine that. Imagine you made a mean tweet about former President Joe Biden or current President Donald Trump, and someone came to your house, arrested you, and then you were publicly executed for it. That's happened in Saudi Arabia.
And then he goes on to say that Saudi investors cannot buy into American companies because they make woke games, apparently. That is right. He is worried that EA, who made Dragon Age, that Saudi Arabia is going to make those games woke. And then goes on to say that Saudi Arabia is buying American companies because they know they are wrong and they're paying their way out of it. And even going as far as to saying that woke games and LGBT games are going away, and games such as Sims will never be the same. And then goes on a rant about Evo banning gay furries. Then of course, DSP does what DSP does. He makes it all about himself and says, according to DSP, detractors have free speech. Are they in jail for misrepresenting me? And then as LOLCOW points out, what happened to suing the detractors, taking all their money and sending them to jail? Then of course, DSP has the main character syndrome. Everything's about him. He's the only purest and truest person on the internet. And he says, no other channel can talk about Saudi politics but him, due to him being different. And then we have this from Leversoul, who's a dent. Here in California, if you threw a frisbee, you'd hit a homosexual. Did you hit yourself? And then after DSP got done saying how Saudi Arabia is greedy and they're morally wrong, he said he's not going to start gameplay until he gets $50. And then gets it and says he won't start gameplay until he gets $100. You see how he controls you, Dents? And then he tried the green screen for all his hats. Cause you know, he retired the hats, he doesn't do that anymore. Well, he's now trying out the hats to see if they work for the green screen so he can wear them on camera. It did not work out very well. And it looks like Silksong might be going away, cause he says there's all these new games coming out that people want me to play. And he says to his audience, do you want to see me play new games? And he also said Suikoden 2 is gone indefinitely. Just like Divinity Original Sin 2, just like Sea of Stars, it's never coming back, dude. Then we have Big Papa Phil. I emulate Phil in my professional life, my family life, and even in my love life. And spoiler, this is Timbo Slice, who went bankrupt 3 times for DSP. He has no love life, his family disowned him, and he's a lifelong loser who takes out payday loans just so he can give money to streamers. He gives money to LOLCOW Live and RTU. Now you're probably wondering, did DSP actually do well in Sonic? It's a kid's game. Well, it looks like it's Mario Kart all over again.
Same stage, but it has an environmental thing going on, and I just lost all my speed and I have no idea why. What in the holy hell was I supposed to do there? I was in midair, there was no way I could even control myself. That's bullshit.
And of course, just like Mario Kart, within 20 seconds of the first online match, it's the lag, dude. What's going on? It's so laggy, dude. And now DSP has a new goal on Kick. And he demands of the King's Tax. He wants 250 new subs on Kick every single week. And we have this from Mr. Bun the Juice, who's a newer sock account. Hey Phil, no offense, but your streamer lifestyle doesn't seem healthy. You're surrounded by toxic people, and you're not hitting your goals. You got talent and experience. It's not too late to chase what truly makes you happy. And tell me if you heard this before. Support Sonic Racing now, DSP says, while he's on break, or fuck it, because he doesn't care anymore, and it's gone, wage quit. And tell me who this sounds like. DSP Gaming, also sorry if this is a weird question or anything, but why are you mentioning my name? Is it just me, or did something happen? It really helps when you shout out names, in my opinion. Thanks Derek, thanks for coming. Now make this make sense. DSP said he never failed a class. He just got a D in some of his classes. Remember, valedictorian everyone. And look at that, the money's not coming in. $86. And he's freaking out. He's gonna wage quit this unless someone steps up. And would you look at that? A new sock account. Final Laugh 87. Gotta go fast. Have fun out there as you cross worlds. $50. And just like that, DSP hits the goal. All of a sudden, he loves the game. It's a good game. He's going to continue playing the game. And I made this prediction. This DSP workout arc will result in him next year dressing up as Zangief or Blanca for Halloween. And we have Hellshake, who shows DSP as Blanca. And DSP is a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's saying most of the time. And now he's going to say, LTG is a slave to Kick.
No. See, here's the thing. Someone just said, I thought I heard that LTG found up some nonsense on Kick. Oh, no. He tried it, and then Kick, of course, immediately detected it and told him, dude, you just tried to scam us. Like, what's your problem? Now you owe us, like, thousands of dollars. So he's been streaming on Kick for, like, 2 months and hasn't made a penny because he tried to scam them. And they immediately detected it and said, no, we paid you this money, but now you owe it back. You're actually streaming at a deficit. They basically told him, you're forced to stream for us now because we overpaid you because you cheated. And if you don't, we're going to sue you. So he has to... Now he's a fucking slave. I mean, what kind of an idiot? He's actually a slave to Kick. Isn't that great?
And people kept pointing out that Scopely is owned by Saudi Arabia. And we have this comment here. Don't Saudi Arabia own Scopely? How do you feel about funding crimes against humanity? With many, many, many different spelling mistakes here. And you know what happens when someone points out the obvious. Ban, 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 gone forever. And Truck Sim is not going very well because the whales are not there. And he's telling his audience, it's your fault for low support because you demanded he bring it back. This is just an excuse for him to drink on stream. Then goes on to say he won't drink beers on drinking streams due to the high calorie count. However, he will drink multiple White Claws in one night. And this is absolutely disgusting. So if you thought the May 1st burst was the worst thing DSP has done, he's now telling you he's bursting all the time in his private life. And even says he hopes it never happens again if he can control it. There's only one way you can control it, is not to do it in that room with the camera on. I have this weird feeling he's still jerking it in that room to this day.
Am I ever gonna burst again like I did on May 1st? Listen, I burst all the time, I just don't do it publicly because it's none of anyone's business, right? The May 1st thing was not exactly my idea, it was an accident, and it is hopefully in the cards that it'll never happen again if I can so help it, so there you go.
And of course, one of DSP's targets throughout time is the Cannon Brothers. And he said, and I quote, "The Cannon Brothers did a hostile takeover of the fighting game community." But then also goes on to say, in the community, everyone knew a person named Mr. Wizard was a pedo and just made fun of it. So you're telling me, Phil, Mr. Morals and Values, you knew someone was a pedophile. He was in your FGC. You didn't tell anyone, you didn't report it. You just let him be around young children all the time. That makes you an accomplice. And of course, he's going to attack the Cannon Brothers yet again.
The stuff that you did was also underhanded, but no one can ever prove it. Just like there's so many people in the FGC who absolutely positively knew that Mr. Wizard was a pedophile. They talked about it publicly in IRC chat rooms. They joked about it because back then, we're talking the early 2000s, this was a joke. It was like, oh, the good old boys club, make fun of him because we know that he's gay and we know that he likes boys, so just make fun of him for it. I'm serious. People would just sit there and make fun of him for it and wouldn't stop him or call him out. They would just say, oh, this is funny, basically haze the guy and tease the guy for it, okay? But there were so many people involved at that time period who knew about this. They saw it happen, yet everyone just like, oh, well, you just got to put up with Mr. Wizard being a part of the FGC because he's friends with the Cannons, and the Cannons really like him. So they're going to make him part of running EVO. Eventually, they made him the president of EVO or whatever it was. But everyone knew it back in the day. Everyone knew this stuff. But where it was said in an IRC chat room where no one ever saved anything or could prove anything. And now years later, you realize as you're an adult, man, this is fucked up stuff. There's nothing you can do about it. What could I do about it, right? I wasn't there. I didn't live in California. I didn't see this stuff happening firsthand. They did, and they did nothing. Instead, they just hazed the guy and joked, and then basically were like, well, you're gonna, do stuff for us forever. You're gonna run SRK, and we're gonna trust you, and then we're gonna give you the fucking tournament and shit. This is all common knowledge among old school FGC heads, but no one will talk about it because they're invested in the FGC. I'm not. I don't give a shit. What do I have? What do I care? What are you gonna do, ban me from EVO? I'm not going. I don't care. Oh darn. Oh shucks. But this is just the point I'm making, is that this is how it's always been. And that's what I hated about back in the day. Every time that there was something major going on in fighting games, you had the same good old boys club who were involved in it and were controlling it from the inside, and they were hiding shit and they were doing underhanded things, and you had to just put up with it. If you wanted to be part of the FGC back then, you had to put up with this regime that was basically controlling everything. And it happened overnight too. That's the saddest part, is these guys came out of nowhere with money and they just started buying up everything. We're gonna do the biggest fighting game tournament in the country. Out of nowhere. We have the money to do it. We're gonna do it. The fuck? But, you're not even good at the game. That's the truth. The Cannon Brothers were never even good at Street Fighter. So what authority did they have to ever run the National Street Fighter Tournament? Oh, we have money. Well, that's a good qualifying reason, don't you think? I don't know. You know, this is all water under the bridge. I don't care about this shit anymore.
DSP decided to call out all content creators who retire or quit and said they don't have real passion like Phil does. No, Phil, the thing is they were smart with their money, they were good to their audience, so they can financially afford to retire or quit. You, on the other hand, are be in that small little bedroom until you have a stroke on stream and pass away. It'll be known as the second stroke on stream. And now Tuesday, and in the daily wrap, and on Twitter before he started his stream, he was begging people for $300. And he put this on Twitter: there's no podcasts. And we may do DSP Tries It Indian food if we hit 2 goals. And he does this every single time. It's a dead giveaway that he has a whale lined up where he goes, it'd be nice if someone generous came by and helped out. And if we hit 2 goals, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does happen, we're going to do DSP Tries It. But again, I'm not expecting it. And I don't think someone's going to do it. And you know that's the key giveaway for him setting something up behind the scenes. And of course, DSP leaves a comment on LTG Detractor video. And now Lumix, a Wings Detractor video, he says this: I played the Gollum game during my worst games ever marathon on Saturday. Wings is now playing the game out of nowhere? Wings 100% watches all my shit and copies me, just like his AI background removal tool. That doesn't work properly because of his shit lighting and an awful setup, lol. Keep burning all those bridges there, Phil. I can't wait till the moment he gets really cocky and he starts talking about Keem again. That'll be so glorious. And look at this, we have Fat Cat left DSP for Tyrone. Amazing, just amazing. And I knew, as soon as he put audio clips in his animations, it was gonna be the worst thing ever. And get ready for this, because I don't think you're ready for this. One of the worst things DSP has ever added to his stream.
100 or more. There you go. It's a guy kicking the shit out of something.
And then he played Silksong, and he was having issues. And people kept saying, oh Phil, there's a black rectangle on the screen. And DSP kept saying, you don't know what you're talking about, you're all lying, there's nothing on the screen. And look at the screen right here. And people kept spamming pennies here and there, dollars here and there of kicks. And DSP says he has no way to track that, so you have to tell him how much you sent. And he's pissed that you have to make him count his money.
You refuse to count? Well, how am I supposed to count towards the goal if you won't tell me how much you sent? Seriously. I'm telling you, I have no cue to count. I have no cue to count what you sent, so I have no idea what you sent. How am I supposed to tell what we're doing today?
And this is something DSP does throughout time, all the time. He's schizo. He's now saying that he never told people at first he was working out. He did it secretly. And then one day he took off his shirt and people were like, oh my god, you're so toned. What's going on? You look so good. Of course, this reminds me of when he said he had roided out calves. And people were asking him if he's on steroids. It's delusional side Phil coming out.
I've been working out actively for months, actually. I just haven't told anyone. And then finally people noticed about, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? Because I had they were all complaining about my beige shirt, overshirt. They all, oh, I hate your shirt, take it off. I said, fine, just, you're complaining so much, I'll take it off. And then people were like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you're all toned and stuff. I was like, yeah, I've been working out. I just don't talk about it. Then people wanted me to flex. I started flexing, and now it's like a thing. I don't know why.
And one of the signs of autism is that you don't pick up on sarcasm and social cues. And DSP, again, does not pick up on social cues or sarcasm. And if you're thinking, oh my god, he's been playing Silksong for a while now. He must have improved. He must have got better at the game. But then again, we're talking about DSP, and well, let's take a look at this clip right here. It's not going very well.
Oh my lord. What am I doing now? I'm stuck. What the fuck do I do here? Oh my god, fuck this! Dude, fuck, this is terrible! Come on! This is terrible bullshit, and I'm gonna have to do this awful walk back every time.
And this happens every single time DSP is forced to take a day off. He's now complaining that he has a huge backlog of games he has to play. And because he had one day off, he's behind on games. Same guy, remember, who does all those chill with Phil's, Q&A, 2-hour podcasts, and I use podcast in quotes. Plays all these games nobody wants, but he has no time for all the new games, dude. And of course, the whale came out, and he got his Indian food, and one of the most disgusting sights I've ever seen. Look at this, just absolutely look at this. And a quote from DSP while eating Indian food, "You don't want to stain with this because it will stain." And of course, even more bad thumbnails. Look at the border on the right hand side compared to the left. As he put, Indian food returns, butter chicken, and more. And of course, on the night stream, he was 37 minutes late. And why was he 37 minutes late? He was setting up Halloween animations. That is right, images from other people and other movies, along with sound bites from other people and other movies that he mashed together. But he always says everyone steals from him. He only makes original content, dude. And I put this out as a thought. It's funny how morally superior DSP thinks he is to LTG, Wings, and Boogie, saying they have done heinous things, which they have, by the way. But at the same time, he is trying to work with them to make money. It's almost like morals and values go out the window for DSP when money is involved. And then Broside Phil caught this, where DSP said the bicep is on the back of the arm. And if you want any proof that DSP will sell out his morals, his values for money, take a look at this clip here where someone asked DSP, would you convert to Islam if someone rich paid you $10 million?
Nemesis T-Type says, if a Saudi prince pays you $10 million, will you convert to Islam? Well, I will quote Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters. It says, if it comes with a steady paycheck, I'll believe anything you say.
And then DSP addressed that his merch shop was closed down. And he said, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about it. Remember, this is a service he was paying monthly for. Obviously, with him being a successful individual, he could keep it up because all his fans demand it because they're buying stuff like crazy, right, dude? Because everybody loves him. He's having a resurgence. He's doing better than he ever did, dude.
No, I didn't fix my merch shop because I didn't know my merch shop was down because I don't use my merch shop, as you know. So I wasn't even aware that it was down, and I haven't talked to the person who runs it in like 6 months. Seriously. So unless there's really a reason, I probably won't even bother. Because this basically that what they were doing is that company was paying to maintain the site, and then any profits they were making from the sales they kept, and then they would send me a cut. But no one's using the merch site, so it's just sitting there dormant. So they probably just let it expire because I haven't talked to them in like 6 months. That's probably what happened. I had no clue it was down until you just said so. And to be quite frank, I don't really have any merch to put up there now anyway.
And it's always funny when two retards are fighting each other, not knowing that they're both retards. And DSP's gonna complain that RTU is mentally deficient. Phil, you two are exactly the same. But of course, DSP has to be morally superior to RTU. And then shit all over him.
Someone tipped $1. He says, why are you afraid of RTU? Why don't you do a one-on-one interview with him? Well, let's see. Number one, because he doesn't deserve to get any more free content out of me. I would never give him free content moving forward. You know, he can do what he wants by rewatching my own stuff and reacting to it. But there's no reason for me to go on his show. It doesn't benefit me at all to go on his show. I want nothing from the man at all. I just ignore him because he's insignificant to my existence. Like, he doesn't affect me in any way. Also, I just don't like talking to, like, mentally deficient retards. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with that. You know, I would like trying to have a formulated sentence with someone and they just keep drooling and sputtering and you have no idea what they're saying. I mean, that's what he did when he was on my show. I'm like, okay, so we're going to go deep into these DMs to show you guys the methodology of Kino Casino. This is exclusive. No one knows anything about this. And he goes, Phil, why don't you talk into your microphone like this? Do you personally keep away from your microphone to piss me off? What? What? It was just like, there was like a snap, and it was like, what the fuck just happened? This guy, like, he just exposed how mentally deficient he is in front of thousands of people watching. He's a complete idiot. There's no reason for me to ever have an interaction with this man ever again. So I'm afraid of him. I literally don't want to waste time on him. He's a waste of everyone's time. Like, literally every single person who ever watches or spends time with him is a waste of your time. Okay?
And this is very telling of DSP. So someone asked DSP if he was stronger than his wife. And DSP asked if they meant physically, and then paused for a second and said yes. Now, why would you have to pause there, Phil? You second doubted yourself of who's stronger. But dude, remember, you've been working out for months. Then someone in chat was talking about fast food, and DSP tells him to shut the fuck up, cause he's playing a survival horror game, dude. And then he gets a paid message about fast food, and starts talking about it and agreeing. The main difference between that? Money was involved. And if you think that soundbite of Phil getting fucked in the ass was bad, this is another one he stole from a movie. And get ready, it is horrible.
A tip or I have to scoot that over so that it actually fits. There we go. There's our first one of the night from Your Future Stepdad. I'll put that down in the corner like that. I have to reposition now so that they fit properly. There you go.
And DSP was playing Silent Hill F, and this is a quote from DSP. Japanese schoolgirl, poke of dream. You heard that correctly. And then someone brought up the topic of his cologne and said it's cheap and it's for poor people. And then DSP not only threatened to ban him, but actually did ban him. And as you can see from Duty Streams, you can buy it at Walgreens for $17. And he was telling Konami to stop making games because they're ruining game franchises. And I put this out. Well, you ruin any game you play, DSP. So... And now DSP's going to go on yet another rant about Japan and saying that Konami only cares about the Japanese audience and customers. It's another Japan-style rant by DSP.
The Ether Man says, why do you think Konami's doing this with such a popular franchise? Aren't they hurting themselves? Here's the thing, and you have to understand this about Japanese developers and or Japanese-centric companies. They really don't care about anyone except Japan. I'm going to just reiterate that. They only care about Japanese customers. And you might think that that's weird, but it's true. For example, it was just announced that Capcom Cup, one of the biggest tournaments and or tournament circuits for competitive Street Fighter, is now going to go pay-per-view. They literally will not allow you to watch the events for free. You have to pay to watch, and once you pay to watch, you are not allowed to restream. You are not allowed to clip. You are not allowed to commentate. It's all illegal. And when people say, well, why are they doing that? Because they're Japanese. They don't care. Apparently, Street Fighter 6 is insanely popular in Japan. Like, it's one of the most popular games of all time. But I'll give you an example here. There are players in Japan, okay, in Street Fighter 6. They literally just make match videos. They'll do like a half an hour, oh, it's my matches. You know how many views they get? 1 million. That's not an exaggeration. They get 1 million freaking views on basic match videos because they're Japanese players. That's how crazy Japanese culture is when they focus on their own stuff. They go crazy. They do. So, in regards to Japanese, to them, they don't really give a crap about what the rest of the world thinks about Silent Hill. All they care about is what they think about Silent Hill. And to them, they're like, hey, look what we did. We made a Silent Hill that's now Japanese-centric, that now plays like an anime. And they like that shit. It's part of their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, to them, they actually don't care that the rest of the world is playing this game and they're looking at it like, what the fuck did they do to Silent Hill? They don't give a shit. To them, they're like, yeah, what of it? It's our game. We made it. And we'll do whatever we want with it. So even though everyone who's probably gotten this far in the game is now saying, what in the fuck am I playing? What is this shit? It doesn't bother them none. They're like, well, guess what? This game sold a lot. Everyone pre-ordered it. So it made a million sales on day one. Now, the thing that you don't realize is that doesn't necessarily mean the sales will carry. Just because a million people pre-ordered it and it did well on day one does not mean that this game will do well in the long term. It could very well be a situation where it did very well day one and then will not sell after the fact because people heard how stupid it is. Okay, but you never know. So to them, they see it as a sales success. They think they've done right. They're not going to listen to any criticism whatsoever. Anyone who says that this game is weird or different or stupid, they're not going to listen to. They're going to say, hey, look, 1 million in sales. And then they're just going to do whatever they want. That's how they are. They really are just kind of, they only listen to their own. They don't really care about the rest of the world. Even if they're not, it means that they're sacrificing. Like, for example, that Capcom Cup thing will likely make it so that Street Fighter 6 is not as widespread popular in the rest of the world if people can't see the big tournament, right? They're not going to pay $20 to see this fucking tournament. You think that would kill it? No, they don't care. As long as they're popular in Japan and they make tons of money there, they don't give a shit. So I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Like, literally, look.
And despite last year, DSP saying a company came in to clean his house and his garage, he's now saying he has no room to set up his home gym. And even if they just cleaned out the garage, that would be a good place for it. But of course, DSP is a hoarder. And there is containers, there is cat litter all over the garage, all over his house. It's everywhere, dude.
Sorry, I started behind the 8 ball, but we're going to get into the game right now, okay? Yes, save us GTA. I'm trying to use a spare room and turn it into a workout room, but I don't have the full means yet. There's still a lot of clutter, and I'm trying to clean up this house.
Then we have this from Young Cole 6969. I know it isn't much. Blame KFC paying me late. And now DSP is going to cope with not hitting the goal again. But of course, it's not his fault. It's Kick's fault because there's no subs. Step it up, dudes. We have these goals, dude.
Guys, it sucks we didn't get to our goal at all. Not even close. I'll be honest. What's been going on is basically we've been getting no subs at all. If you haven't noticed, that we have gotten like no subs at all. Like today, I think we got like 1. I'm not even kidding. I think we had like 1 sub today. So basically, because of that, we're not hitting our goals on certain streams, but then other streams will have someone come by who basically wails out. You know what I mean? Like earlier today, we had someone who just wanted to hear the animation 7,000 times, so they gifted like $200 of kicks.
And look how he titles Silent Hill F Part 8. We have jumped the shark. Another phrase DSP doesn't know the meaning of. Then he goes on to say, my wife and I play games for different reasons. When she's playing a game, she does it because she wants to relax. But Phil, what happened to the night streams? The chill, robust, meaningful, positive, chill streams, dude. And now we get to Wednesday. And I have a theory of why DSP supposedly started working out. So before this latest round of DSP attacking LTG, LTG gave DSP 2 choices. 5K or send him videos of him working out and lifting a certain amount of weight. And would you look at that, DSP said he started working out again and started attacking LTG again. And then we got a response by LTG over DSP's slave comment. And of course, he still will not work with DSP.
Fucking slave. I mean, what kind of an idiot? He's actually a slave to Kick. Isn't that great?
I'm a slave to Kick. Now, now I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Phil meant anything racial with this. So I know people talking about he called me a slave. Just because I happen to be black and he said slave, I don't consider it as something racial. He probably meant like I'm a slave to the platform. Meaning anybody could be a slave to the platform. I don't think he was meant it on some racial shit. The guy's such a fucking moron. He can't really articulate the proper words to express himself. And trust me, when your corners are this far back, you're gonna be feeling air more than thinking about what's going on. There's too much breeze going on. So I just don't think he can think logically about what he's going to say next. So the best thing he could say is I'm a slave to the platform. Instead of saying like he's at a deficit to the platform, which he started to say, but the guy's such an idiot. he can't actually articulate the proper words to complete a sentence.
And I agree that DSP didn't actually mean any racial stuff to this. And don't get me wrong, LTG is a piece of shit, and DSP is racist, but in this moment, it's just DSP being DSP. It's the same guy who asked Jade when he went to amusement park, "Did you spend all day just walking around the park, Jade?" And DSP leaves this comment under his DSP Reacts account on an LTG detractor video. Says I'm sexually obsessed with him, yet talks about nothing but my looks. When you talk that much, instead of just being a one-off joke, it's obvious you like them. There is a group of people who obsess over the looks of those same gender. They are called homosexuals. And he's still dodging me. Even in clips where I never mention, "Wanted to play Street Fighter, LOL." Remember, same guy who said, "How about for 50 subs, Andy takes off his shirt so we can see those ripped abs." And Konasav points out, DSP's ally slide, where he says love is love. And it's a safe space for all. And you're all welcome and loved for the perfect and unique people each of you are. But now he's using gay as an insult in a negative tone. And then DSP pumps up that his Halloween themed podcast is about to start. If you ever seen DSP's Halloween background in the past, you know how bad this actually is. Then with KO Gomes, has any streamer had as big of a glow up as DSP from 2010 to 2025? It's like I'm watching a totally new guy. We have Copium with a flex and sunglasses. DSP, why? Because I used to be a fat schlub? LOL. And yesterday, DSP said he had no collectibles, he had no statues, it's all gone. Well, today he added his Halloween decorations, and one of them was a collector statue, which he said was gone. Funny how that works out. And look at this, look at DSP's Halloween decorations. Absolutely pathetic, and yes, that is the mask from Project 7. And then he went on a rant about Xbox and Game Pass and said nobody should ever get Game Pass because they're doing everything wrong and don't deserve to be rewarded. But then goes on to say he will keep Game Pass for himself since he's relying on the service. But remember dudes, he can buy any game, it's not a money issue. However, one person who's canceling their Xbox Game Pass is Cat. That is right, DSP gets to keep his, but Cat cannot keep hers. Then a quote from DSP about cloud gaming. You get cloud gaming? What is that? It means you can play games in the cloud. And then he played Sonic Racing, and 50% of the races he was riding the wall, and says, "I don't even know what I did wrong, I was racing well. I was turning all the corners." And tell me if you heard this before, if Sonic does not hit the goal today, it is gone, wage quit. Every single game he does this, just like Pokemon and other games, Minecraft. $20, you get to name something. Well, guess what? He lowered it to $10 in this game. And you know he's hurting financially when he lowers this price. And he says, if you give him $10, you get to choose the racer. But he was expecting $10 after every single race and kept saying, "Come on guys, who's gonna pick next? Come on guys, let's go. Where's my next $10? And then Mighty D points out, DSP asked for $10 to pick a new character in Sonic Racing over 20 times in just over 2 hours of gameplay. And guess what guys, it did not hit the goal. But guess what DSP said? He is not wage quitting it. He is putting it on the night stream. That is right. One stream where it doesn't hit the goal, and it's on the night stream where games go to die. And then his audience kept saying, "Play Ghost of Yotai." And DSP said, no, only trolls want that, so he's not going to play that. And he also said that the writer for the game is the same as the Dragon Age game, and that means it's going to be a bad game, dude. And we get to the night stream, and he's playing Hades 2 despite him saying he's not playing Hades 2. And he put this out on Twitter. Tonight is the premiere of Hades 2 on my late stream. You've been asking for me to play it since the full release dropped, so join me around 7 PM for the roguelike fun. That is right, you asked me for this, now give me money and shut the fuck up. And guys, you're never gonna believe this. Very first stream and he says, Hades 2 must hit the goal or it's gone. Another threat of wage quit. And then DSP has this sound effect where it sounds like him getting fucked in the ass. And he had it as a sound effect for 100 kicks, which is $1. and people kept spamming it over and over, so DSP now changes it from $1 to $100.
We'll play if someone does 10,000 kicks. Ready? If that's what you guys want, there you go. For $100, you can have your sound effect again. Good for you. It's never going to happen, but there you go. Since you guys on Kick love it so much, I'll give you what you want.
And in a moment that's absolutely mind-blowing, DSP says he has a great memory for remembering things in-game. I know, there's a million different examples going through your head right now. And this right here tells you the mindset of DSP in 2025. DSP said games like Hades 2 are a better experience when someone is helping you and telling you what to do in the game. No creativity, no imagination, tell me what to do, give me money, shut the fuck up. And DSP loves to spend people's money and buy useless stuff. And apparently his computer is already having problems despite being 1 or 2 years old. And he's even saying he might have to get a third PC to properly run the streams.
Man, my keyboard sucks. It's dropping half the inputs. Yeah, I gotta figure out a solution, because some people are like, oh, why don't you just use your other monitor you don't use anymore and bring your monitor here? That way you can just do everything on that PC. Because that PC already has issues. Like, for example, just monitoring the stream and stuff, the browser crashes constantly, has memory holes, right? There's times when OBS crashes. So now imagine, not only am I doing everything I'm already doing on that PC, but now I have 2 chats open, the leaderboard for this contribution, the emails for PayPal. I mean, the memory is already exceeded. How am I going to do all that on one PC? I don't think it's possible. You know, that it seems like you need 3 freaking PCs to stream these days if you want to be good.
And we start off on Thursday with DSP saying he's glad he didn't play Black Ops 7 today because it's a mess, crashing, and has to be patched. It's a beta, Phil. They're not going to patch a beta that's on for like 2 or 3 days. And this is also Phil striking while the iron is cold. And how did he come to this conclusion? Because there is post on X saying it didn't work. But remember guys, DSP doesn't listen to online criticism. He just plays the game himself. And get ready for a hell of a rant from DSP about working out. And he's gonna say, if you watch somebody work out, you're gay for them, and you want to simp for them. And even at one point, he says he can get out of his chair without feeling pain, so that's proof that he's healthy. Phil, any normal human being wouldn't even notice that, because that's a normal thing to do. You get out of a chair and you don't feel pain. You're just a fat sack of shit who looks the exact same, but thinks he's a buff muscular dude now.
Am I afraid of working out on stream? Afraid is not the word for it. There's 2 reasons why I'm not going to work out on stream. Reason number 1 is because, quite frankly, people who want to watch other people work out like that are usually like attracted to the person. That's why you have all these simping people who throw money at people working out online and shit. And I don't want people simping in that way towards me. I'm a married man. I think that would be quite disturbing. That's number 1. Number 2, the other side of the equation is that no matter how well I work out, if I was doing everything absolutely perfectly and I was lifting good amount of weight and my form was great and all that was good, right? People would still say it's bad, because that's the whole idea with these idiots online. It's never good enough no matter what you do. And I'm not going to have them saying dumb shit about my workouts. Obviously, the workouts are working, right? Like, obviously, look how much muscle mass I've put on. These arms used to have 0 muscle on them, and now the muscle's back. I'm losing a ton of weight. My core is like rock hard now, which is great. So all these improvements, I'm not going to let other people try to dump on me and all the work that I've done and the work that I'm going to continue to do for quite a while. I can't wait to keep going for the next, years and have myself basically get back to the form that I was in my 20s, So there's no point in sharing a workout when all people want to do is basically be toxic and negative about it. If you want to talk to me about the workout, I'll talk to you about it. That's fine. But I'm not going to share the actual physical activity of it. That simple. Stuberto, that's exactly what it is. He says, what happened to aging gracefully? Now you want to be 20 again? It's not that I want to be 20 again. It's that I know I'm not 20. And if I want to extend my life for the sake of my family and myself, I need to start doing these things to make myself healthy again, right? So that's why I'm doing it. All right, Vassal did a 1313 super chat and says, always looking forward to Silk Song streams. Yes. And then, by the way, Vassal said in chat, that's always for the best, and that's the best attitude to have. Working out for your health journey is much more important about yourself than everyone else's opinion. Exactly. Again, you know, unless you're like a fucking Adonis, like Arnold Schwarzenegger used to be when he was in competitions and shit, people are going to dump on you. And that's it. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking any protein supplements or anything. At most, sometimes I have a protein bar. That's it. Everything else is just my normal diet and everything, but I'm working out, and that's why I'm not going to have giant gains. I'm not taking insane supplements and shit. I'm not doing any of that. So I'm just working out naturally with weights, free weights, and seeing what happens. And quite honestly, it's been great. Like I said, it's actually been great. Like I got all my muscles from my 20s are coming back. Slowly, but they are coming back. Remember, this arm used to have nothing on it at all, right? And now it's actually got tone and everything, and I've got strength back, and it's awesome, you know? No, I told you, I'm not doing any of that shit. I didn't buy protein powder, creatine, nothing. Every once in a while, I eat the energy bar, the Quest energy bar, and that's it. No, that's absolutely true as well. The villain says, after a certain age, when you hit your 40s, your level, all your levels drop, and it's harder to build muscle. It's true. It's absolutely true. It's like I said, if I actually hadn't worked out earlier in my life, I wouldn't have even gotten this muscle back as soon as I did. Like, it would have been hard to build muscle from scratch, but these muscles I had, I just hadn't been using them for so long, but I got them back into shape. Thankfully. It's easier for me because I'm someone who had muscle mass in his youth. Someone who never had it, good luck. No, stop saying stupid shit. I already said I'm not taking anything. I don't want to. I'm doing this for health. I'm doing this for longevity. And I'm doing it for strength so I can actually do things that I should be able to do as an adult male. I'm not doing it to become a giant buff roided idiot who then tries to pretend like he's hot shit on the internet and then talks down to other people who don't work out. Gee, I wonder if there's someone like that. Anyway, that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for me. And that's the important part. How heavy are the weights I use? They're heavy enough to get me a good workout and a good pump and to work my muscles well. And then when it feels like it's becoming too easy and there's not enough challenge, I increase the reps. But then if it feels like it's becoming even too easy, then I increase the weight. That's how heavy the weights are. I just find it hilarious that today, at the age of 43, I'm basically looking better than I did the entire time I've been making content on the internet. Like, go back and watch my original videos when I was younger. I look like shit. I look like a big bloated fucking grape. I look like Violet from Willy Wonka when she ate the grape candy and she turned into a giant grape. I look so bloated and gross, And then it's weird because my weight kind of went up and down like this over the years. But finally, I'm at a point where, like, I feel healthy. And it's the first time, like I said, in my 20s, I felt healthy. Then I lost it in my late 20s there when I was working that office job and stuff. That's basically when I started eating really unhealthy. I was eating terrible food 3 meals a day. I was drinking coffee with sugar and cream and shit in it all day long. It was awful. I gained a ton of weight. Now I look like a deflated grape. At least I look deflated. That's fine with me. I'd rather be a deflated grape than a giant swollen grape. That's for sure. And also, having muscle mass that I can use in my life as opposed to being a giant grape that is weak as shit. You know, like I said, I used to try to get out of my car and I would hurt my knee. Just standing up out of my car, my knee would go, and I would go, oh my God, shooting pain. Fucking terrible. I don't want to be like that ever again in my life. Ever again. This is hilarious. Can we see your body? Yes, here it is. Here's my body. I've put it in front of a camera for you. You can see it. Enjoy. No, see, this is why this is the perfect time to do it. Someone just said if you're pushing 50, which I am, but not yet, I'm 43. You know, knee pain is on the way. You're right. And I have historically had bad knees. So now that I've started doing squats, I'm building up all the muscle and it's actually working. Like, for example, if you remember, I used to be streaming and then I go to get up and I go like this. I go, oh, ooh, oh, like that, right? Now, I'm literally just getting up. There's no pain, no popping or cracking in the knees at all. Just like, zoop. No problem at all. Because I'm working out. It's so much better. And same thing, you know, I used to have a hard time even sitting up sometimes. You know, you'd be laying down and you try to sit up. You're like, oh, my back. Now I'm just whoop right away. No problem, no pain. Everything's healthy. It's very nice.
And then DSP started playing Silksong yet again. And he gets frustrated. He hates it. It's too hard for him, dude. And he wants health bars on enemies in Silksong to see how well he did. And also said Silksong was poorly designed because he ran into a wall thinking it was a door. And the frustration is building. You know eventually he's probably going to quit this game or put it on hold indefinitely, like Sea of Stars. And now let's hear DSP complain that the game was designed to be frustrating, and he doesn't like that.
The game is 100% designed to be frustrating. And I don't like that. Like, challenge I like. I don't like actual frustration for the sake of annoying the gamer. And that's literally what this game has. Like, it's going to piss you off on purpose.
And he's also complaining that Silent Hill F is not a real survival horror game because the game is too easy and there's no horror. Now keep in mind too, he's playing on combat easy. I wonder, Phil, if there's a way to increase the difficulty of combo. I wonder. And he's also complaining that it was 88 degrees in his room today, and also said he did a bench press of 15 reps before the night stream, which is absolute BS. And of course, he always said, the trolls don't control me, in my life or on stream. However, he said he's not gonna have a kid because of the trolls. And whenever he doesn't want to do something, he says, I can't because of the trolls, you know, charity events and stuff. And now someone suggested a heart rate monitor for streams. And guess what DSP says? He can't. Why? Because of the trolls.
Here's the deal with the heart rate monitor. I wouldn't give a shit, but you know what would happen is immediately, again, anything to do with health, just the same reason I don't want to share like my workouts and stuff. Immediately, anyone who sees my heart rate, oh my God, his heart rate is that fast, it's that slow, it's that this, it's that, it's bad, it's good, it's bad for his age. I'm not gonna do that. You're not gonna get my health information. Do you understand? Like maybe if I was in my early 20s or whatever, but I'm not gonna give anyone health information now that I'm in my mid 40s and then more toxic shit for the internet. No, you're not gonna get that. Okay? No, it's not that I'm paranoid, you fucking idiot. It's because every single thing that I give the internet is used negatively, so why give more? What's the point? Again, if I was playing a horror stream and my heart rate was up, that's funny. But then immediately, oh, look at this blood pressure. Look at this, he's dying, he's got this. These fucking people are idiots. And the less you give them, the better life is. I know, because I'm in that situation. You're not, because you're a fucking idiot just trying to be like a fucking armchair quarterback on the internet. I live it every day, and I know, don't give these people fuel. And then it works. I have a good light. So.
And then we have the super chat from Stalking Tiger, aka Timbo. Do you think about hot dogs often? I was not advised by any insurance company fine print that the pain and suffering part of the payoff was the personal property of the injured party and could not be considered community property of the marriage, whatever the fuck that means. Then someone suggested that DSP is shadow banned on YouTube because it didn't show that he was live in his subscription. And DSP says there's no such thing, which there absolutely is. YouTube's notifications have never worked. Well, that's true. All the time. It's been this way for 15 years. Well, the thing is, Phil, nobody cares, not even YouTube. You are probably shadow banned on all your channels. Then goes on to complain that Silent Hill F is now a comedy and not a horror game because DSP thinks it's so bad. And now someone suggested that DSP go to a gym. And of course, the reason he doesn't do this is he doesn't want to go outside. He doesn't want to interact with other human beings. He doesn't want to be seen by the trolls. Because remember, the trolls run his life. And he's saying he has a home gym. And he won't go to the gym because gyms are for poor people.
No, I have money, so I can buy weights for my own home. I don't have to go to a gym. Like literally, what is a gym membership? $20 a month, something like that? So in a year, what's that, $240? I spend more than $240 just on the weights. All right? I have money. So I can actually exercise from the comfort of my own home, which is better than going to the gym. Right? You go to the gym if you're poor. If you need to do the stupid discounted $15 a month gym membership, and then you jump on the machine that smells like shit that everyone else exercised on, then you work out at the gym. Right? Or if maybe if the gym is on the way home from your work, right? You have a commute and you're commuting back home and the gym's on the way. All right, this makes more sense for you to just stop and exercise on the way home. That, okay. But if you can afford a home gym, why would you not build your own home gym?
And now we get to Friday. Let's see how the week ended for DSP. And the very first thing we see is apparently Kino Casino is going to have a special on DSP tonight. As PPP put this out on Twitter, DSP detractors will want to tune in tonight's Kino Casino at 8:30 p.m. We have quite the surprise for Phil. And despite DSP saying yesterday that he's glad he didn't play the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta, today he is playing the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta despite telling people it's laggy, it needs to be patched, blah blah blah. And of course, it's the same old DSP sucking at Call of Duty.
Continued access to premium benefits.
What did it say? Dude, it disappeared. It showed the buttons, it took them away. What are my buttons to throw shit? E? E is a grenade. It's that grenade. Is that my lethal?
Enemies are carrying the device.
Okay, then this must be my stun. Okay, so E is my lethal, and Q is my, like, support item.
Hostiles
So what do I have
overloaded
with
our
X?
control station.
What the fuck?
Drone pod.
A drone pod? What is that? A
New
fucking
overload
drone
device
pod
available.
I just sent out. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Zone, they have the overload device.
What the fuck, yo? Huh? Okay, the gun stops working and I die. Whatever the fuck you say, you dumbasses.
We have
It's
the
bad.
overload
I'll tell you right
device.
now, the game is bad. The connections are not good. The firefights are not legit.
The overload device is in our control.
Can't even see what the fuck was going on. I couldn't see anything, you dumbasses. Yeah, I tell you right now, the game's not going to be very good. I can already tell.
Hostiles have the overload device.
It's too chaotic. You can't ever really get anything, like, intelligent going because the game is so fucking chaotic.
Set KPIs are being
The
downloaded.
kill time is ridiculously stupid. You get the drop on someone, you just go right down. Fuck this. It has nothing to do with wall jumping. They made the game bad. All right. Last match of the night. Guys, last match to support this stream and hit that goal 12 straight and get our momentum going towards our next reward at 30 goals hit. Let's hit it right now. Let's do it tonight, right now. This is the last chance. I can't stay late after this match. I'm out of here to upload thumbnails. Get the fuck out. So let's go now. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap. Eventful 3+ hour stream, okay?
And it's gone.
And of course, in every Call of Duty and online game, he's complaining about the lag. He decided to put the connection on screen. 32 milliseconds. Remember, dude, that's laggy. Then we have DSP tries it, getting cucked by LTG. Your connection is fine. You have the reaction time of a geriatric tortoise. And you need to put your glasses back on, Unk. DSP tries it, pool water and fingernails, hashtag cat is gone, hashtag 220gamer. And then also Snowy Hurricane, lag issues, button mashers, cheating devs. How do you maintain such positivity in the face of all the injustice when you do everything right? And then he kept flexing again. And we have this comment. I think his wife told him he looked skinnier and he believed it. Now he won't stop flexing. Usually married men save that for their spouse. And of course, to sum it all up is this clip right here.
He's gay!
And then Kino Casino dropped their full film on DSP. And we have Andy Worski dressed up as DSP and PPP dressed up as Cat. And they absolutely buried him in this. Even the Snack Gourmet Pizzas made an appearance. Then would you look at that? As soon as the Kino Casino movie ended, DSP went live. It's almost like he was in chat watching it. And then he puts this in the chat. Good evening, everyone. Anyone alive? And of course, stop me if you heard this before. If Hades 2 doesn't hit the goal tonight, it's gone. Wage quit. Then we have DSP Historian. You don't have to lie about being good at games, laughing my ass off. We can all see your gameplay. And then someone asked him, are you excited for the new Pokemon? And DSP said, Pokemon always does well on his channel. And I put this out, as I recall, you always yell at people for low support and attendance, and people stop giving you $20 to name a Pokemon. And we also have Steven who drops this clip in the comments.
Okay, everyone, well, now I hope you had fun. Being that I knew people were enjoying the playthrough, I decided to go a little extra long today. As you saw, I went a whole extra hour on stream, which I hope you appreciate. Quite honestly, let me take a look, because I have not looked at stream numbers all day. My God, the stream numbers were terrible. Wow, what happened? We never even, hold on. I'm actually trying to go back here. Did we ever even get close to 400? We didn't, did we? At least from what I can see, I can't see the entire length of the stream, but from what I can see, which is back till around like 3 p.m., it looks like we barely even had 300 on stream. Wow. I don't know what's going on. Listen, here's the bottom line, and I'm tired of it now. No more excuses, all right? Because the bottom line is people are like, Phil's not engaged in his commentary, and Phil's commentary is boring, and that's why people don't want to watch the playthroughs of the streams. Bullshit. I'm loving this game. I'm voice acting. I'm engaged. I'm commentating on everything that's going on actively. Bullshit. I call massive bullshit on any idiot who says that about either the Watch Dogs 2, which I've been playing recently and really liking, or Pokemon. It's bullshit. I call complete and utter bullshit on anyone who's saying that I'm not engaged and I sound like I'm bored. I'm not. So I've had enough excuses. It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams. I don't even know what else to say, you know? Jim Bob says that at one point we had around 350. Well, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous that I can't even get 400 people for a live stream anymore of new games. You know what I mean? It would be like new games. It's one thing if this were like an old game that I was playing, it was boring and, you know, it was an older game most people didn't care about. It's a brand new game. And I can't even get 400 people on stream. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with everyone. I enjoyed the stream today. I had a lot of fun. I did. I had a lot of fun playing this today. But what is the point of doing all the setup for the live stream? Right now, we're at the end of the stream. I've got 230 people on stream. Why? You know, I'm confused. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But that's the thing. Now people, if I don't stream, people will complain. Why aren't I streaming? Well, because you didn't show up. That's why. If you showed up for the stream, I would bother with it, but it's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I'm really heavily considering not streaming this game anymore, you know? I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I had fun. I want to say thanks to those of you who were here for the stream, obviously. But, I mean, even you can see, I mean, it's black and white. It's black and white at this point that my daily live streams, people aren't turning up for them, you know? So, I guess honestly, that might be it. This might be the final stream for the game. I don't know what else to say. And I do appreciate, again, those of you who did come out. And, you know, there were a few things in stream chat that were pretty helpful today. So, thanks for that. But, I don't know. I just don't know. What's the point? Being completely honest here, what's the point of live streaming if people just don't show up? You know, like I said, if I do it on premiere days, great. A new release day, you know you're going to get good attendance, right? Or if it's a special event, like a marathon or a multiplayer event or something like that. Or every once in a while if I'm just bored and I feel like streaming, but I just don't see the point, you know? I don't. So, alright everyone, that is it for today's Pokemon stream. Right now I'm going to upload all the videos to DSP Gaming. Tonight I am going to play about 2 more hours of Watch Dogs 2. That will also be uploaded to DSP Gaming. And right now I am undecided on whether or not I'm going to stream this again. I am, because what's the point? So, anyway, we'll see. I'll think about it. Alright, I'll think about it. Alright, everyone, that is it. Have a good night. So, thank you for being here, and I will see you later. Tomorrow, Pokemon will continue either way. Even if I don't live stream, I'm still going to be recording offline, alright? And so the videos will go live on DSP Gaming afterward. Alright. Alright, thank you. Peace out, everybody.
And of course, he kept getting tips from Noah. And who is Noah? Well, we all knew who Noah was. Well, you see, Noah is Game Tracker. It's amazing how he was the whale in the early access, and all of a sudden, he's back tonight to give advice and money. And the money was not coming in. And he was saying how chat is dead. Kick even went 4 minutes without anyone even saying anything. He was pissed so much. The money's not there, the attendance is not there. And says he is pissed that people ask for Hades 2, and they're not showing up and supporting. However, a silver lining for all the dents. He's gonna roll over the goal. Not just till Sunday, not just till Monday, but till Tuesday. Because he says he has a major stream set up for Hades 2 on Tuesday. And if he gets money by then to make up for this, he will continue to play Hades 2, otherwise it's gone. And look at that 16-minute daily wrap. And why is that? Because he did not hit the goal for Black Ops or Hades 2. And now DSP is going to respond to Kino Casino's movie about him and say they're just jealous because he robbed them. You know, King Snake, dude. And he's going to say how happy he is and buff he is. That is right. He's going to say he's a buff dude.
I'll just get this out of the way now. This way we don't have to address it on Sunday when I come back. There were a lot of trolls on my stream tonight. Okay, for Hades 2. Being toxic and being stupid. Basically saying, haha, Kino Casino did another segment on you. Okay, it's this simple, because I've explained this, but people don't seem to understand. I don't care. I don't watch them. I haven't talked to them since March. I'm never going to watch their content again. I'm never going to respond to their content. I don't care about them. They're insignificant humans to me. They don't matter. Do you understand? Like, they don't. They have nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with them. The fact that it is October. So we are what? Let's see. Let's do the math. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months. 7 months where I've done nothing with them, have no association with them, don't talk about them. The only time I bring them up is when you guys do. You guys will bring them up on a stream and I'll respond to someone and say something. That's it. I don't think about them ever. They have nothing to do with me, right? The fact that 7 months later, they're doing big segments on me, it means one simple thing. I was right all along. I'm the one who robbed the casino. They are so butthurt about it that they're never going to let go because they think, oh, we keep making content about him. We win. No, you lost. Get it? You lost. I pulled a heist. You can never get back what I took from you. I am now doing very well because of it. I left before you could screw me. You're fucked. I don't watch your shit. Nothing you do affects me. Nothing. You can send your trolls over. No one cares. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm happy. Thanks to you being so fucking stupid. So enjoy doing segments on me. I'm never going to watch it. I don't care what it was about. The cronies came over to spam my chat about it. Like, ban, ban, ban. Okay, ignore them, right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of it. It's just stupidity. So this just goes to show, I think I struck a nerve when I talked about a certain someone wanting to fly me out to Florida to go to a bar with him. I think I struck a nerve, a certain gay person who really wanted to spend time with me, and then he's so butthurt that now I basically have nothing to do with them, and I basically robbed a casino. They can't take it, right? They just cannot cope. So instead, they see they are still making content 7 months later, and they probably will forever because they just can't handle the fact that they took a big fucking L and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm done with it. I'm happy. I'm moved on. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm nice and buff now, and I'm happy and I'm healthy, and I'm in a good place. I don't need to go back to a toxic bad place when I'm in a good place, right? Everyone, thank you.
And that's how the week ended for DSP. If you guys like that, click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe my other channels on the details with the end cards, and as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.